Hello, family and friends. Here we are live, hanging out, doing the thing. I guess I could get my guitar while I'm waiting for you to join in. Hold on. I guess I could do that. I mean, I was working and practicing today. I'm having the time of my I don't want to do that. Hello, how are you doing? Just kind of playing around, waiting for you guys to come in and join me. What's going on out there? I suppose are you getting my DLive updates? It's so weird. We had such a wonderful little community going on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, but I know that there are twits out there. I know there are Facebook people that watch this. The problem is it's so weird. Restream chat should be pulling up hey Iceman, Restream chat should be pulling up and aggregating Facebook chat that I see when I go back. And for some reason, it doesn't show up here. And I know some of you are watching on YouTube and trying to figure out how to comment there. So I'm not worried about that whole thing. Look, if I worried about who was paying attention to me, I wouldn't get anything done. How about you guys? Anyways. Between you and me, if you were a sea, you'd be storm-tossed. If you were a city, your walls would be falling down. If you were a child, you'd be lost and forlorn in the dark. But you are a soul who is losing control and still grasping for pieces of your broken heart. This is a song called Bend. And it's all about people who are building walls and identities and strengths out of all the self-defenses that we put up, and how God is constantly reaching past the trembling heart behind the defenses that we build. Anyway, so I'm finding the pieces and the songs that I haven't played in a long time. Are you ready for my update? I'm not going to be on a long time today, I don't think, because I'm actually doing the work. I've been actually doing the work, okay? But I did have a really lovely audition yesterday for my friends at the cafe at Bonita Beach, interestingly enough. And it went beautifully. And I kind of blew their minds and offered them this thing, and I said, but hey, I want you to feel free, like whatever you want to do. I know I'm supposed to sing. I know I have to sing, but I don't have to put stuff on you guys. This is your business and your thing. But they were super excited, and so Rich, the husband there, was putting my info on their website last night, and they're super excited. So I'm doing brunch music on Sunday, and they know I'm doing all originals. They know that, hey, Wonder Warrior, they know that they are not to expect that I'm going to do any kind of standards or anything. So I'm going to be doing my original music during brunch on Sunday at this cafe. And it was really cool as I sat there and I just did what I had to do. I had to sing. I had to put it out there. I had to risk. And then they came and sat down and they started opening up about their dreams and the dream that they had about having this become a venue and a music venue. And then I said to them, I got to tell you what happened to me, over the last 2 weeks. I am going to be performing at the cafe at Bonita Beach here in town, in Bonita Springs on Sunday, and for the next couple of Sundays before we head back. And I just felt like God opened the door. And so I went in and did an audition yesterday, and it was really cool. And I was telling y'all that I have, I don't do standards, I don't do covers, and I don't do karaoke. So yeah, tell your sister. And so but that's a calculated risk. When I go to do something, I'm doing my music, I'm doing what God gave me, and the sound and it was really interesting to see how they received that. And what was really kind of neat was I was able to share my testimony and share the gospel just by sitting there, because as I sat there and poured out what came out of this guitar and this set of pipes, they just kind of melted and opened up. And so I was able to say to them, look, I'm a Jesus freak and I walk in the supernatural. And so they were like, wow, do you believe in ghosts? And what? I was like, well, that's interesting. And I began to tell them what had happened and the kind of the predicament I was in, and a couple of weeks ago, and how I really was needing to sing, and I had to sing, and I had to stop sublimating that and putting that, kind of sending that subterranean. And so they said, we really feel like this is a healing place. So if you come and you sing and that's healing, I was like, yes. And so it was a really lovely thing. It created this lovely connection with them that went more deep and more personal. And before I said, once I come and play, you'll never hear me finish another song because you'll be so busy with your customers. So I said before I go and leave today, why don't you guys just sit right here? I'm going to give you the gift of a song just for you. Could you believe someone's crazy about you? That it's true even though it's too good to be true? Could you believe you are loved? Could you believe they don't know all there is? That there might be much more to your life than just this? Could you believe you are loved? And then it goes on. And in the second verse is, could you believe that could you believe that your ticket got paid, that your meter was fed with coins someone else gave? Could you believe you are loved? So break up the bubble gum, kick off your shoes. When you're utterly loved, there's so little to lose. So throw open your heart and receive the good news, and dance as you choose to believe you are loved. So that's the gospel, right? So they sat there and held hands and listened to the gospel. And I was like, and I could feel the weightiness and the presence of God coming off of my voice, which I suppose it does, but I've just been so tuned out and tuned off to it because of feeling like it wasn't important, it wasn't necessary, it wasn't needed. There's so many more crisis-y things and more things I can do to fix and save the world and help with the great distress and the the onslaught that we're in the middle of. And yet it was so interesting to see the favor that God gave me to do that. So this is just me putting it out there. So I've got now, hey, Larry, so I got this gig on Sunday. And then last night I had a brand new friend come over, and I was recounting for her the events of the last couple of weeks. And it was really kind of cool because for the first time since the thing I went through, I wasn't in physical pain when I talked about it, which was really cool. And then I got to play for her, and it was like everything was ready. Like the music I'd been working on. I'm going to have about an hour's worth of original music that I put together this set. And as I'm resurrecting, these pieces are being resurrected from the dead. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Like I have 14% battery, so this is going to be a short one. I was resurrecting this music from the dead and going, wow, I think there's something important about a gift that God has given you that we have undervaluing that. And I think that perhaps that's another way fear gets in. Fear can be the bold, scary panic attacks that shut you down. And then fear, like we talked about, is that inner resistance that comes out of you with a story about value and worth and what you're capable of. And so fear is very tricky. We get used to maybe dealing with it in the big ways and rebuking this and that and going on offensive against the bigger ones. But sometimes fear can manifest in a lack of value, in the simplicity of undervaluing something you have to share and treating it like it's not important, that it doesn't deserve your time, or that someone else doesn't deserve the time it takes for you to bring this thing because maybe it's not all that important, and investing in it. And I just want to encourage you as I kind of go on this little journey that good, fling that window wide open, blow switch. I want to encourage you that one of the tricky ways that fear manifests is by you completely not seeing the richness of you being present to give little things, small things, artisanal things, your time, your energy, your food, your love, your art, your media, the media you work in, the prayer, the laying on of hands, these things, and how easy it is for us to devalue that. And so yesterday was a good thing. It was a very good thing. And then I thought I would be flagging in energy after that, because that's kind of been what the last few weeks have been about. But I had a lovely, lovely gift of fellowship last night, which was amazing. So I'm encouraged. And so I'm practicing today and tomorrow, and then Sunday I've got this gig. And it was interesting because then I'll do another one with them. And when I come back next season, I mean, who knows? Who knows? The sky's the limit. I might be at every coffee place between here and Naples. I don't know. We'll find out what God does. But as the music was coming back, I was realizing this is all music. Basically, 99% of the music that I'm performing has not been recorded yet on an album. And I'm thinking, I'm going to need to do another album. And I know that I'm supposed to do jazz worship, but I really am feeling that these originals, which do carry story, they carry the story of the interaction of God in life, and the ebb and flow and the pain and the healing and so forth. And they have to be told and sung. So who knows? Maybe another album is being birthed out of this whole process. So remember what I've said to you, and my battery's running low. How silly is that? Remember what I said to you, that in any given day, when I say to you, go do something that scares you, you need to understand there's the right next level honey, butter, and oil. That sounds like I need the cornbread to go with that one. Wonder Worry, if you send the cornbread, I'll do the honey, butter, and oil. I'll do that. I got that. Thank you very much. I'm thinking that what we need to realize is that in any given day, there's the right level of scared for you, the right level of risk for you. The thing is presenting itself, and it's opening up before you. And some of the greatest victories are just your yeses into these things that may not even seem that significant. And we know from experience what's happening. The mind is being renewed. The character is being built. The trust is being built to dare to believe that because I'm risking, God's on the other end of that. That as I step toward that door, it's going to open. As I break that bread and bless it, it's going to multiply. As I sing and I show up where I'm at with the age I am, the age that my vocal cords are, that the things I've been through, the time and energy that somehow, I'm offering the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, right? And the extravagance and the miraculous is poured out on that simplicity, that offering. So that is my story for now. And also I've been writing, and that was a tough one. But, I decided to try something just to see what would happen. And I think it might be helping. I mean, I haven't had Gabriel show up or anything in my living room. But I decided to send the hosts of heaven out before me to clear the way before I started writing and practicing and stuff. And maybe when we deal with that inner resistance, which is fear camouflaged as busyness, fear camouflaged as procrastination, I'll do it later, fear camouflaged so sneakily, when we feel that inner resistance that repels us away from the work we know we're supposed to be doing, the risks we're supposed to be taking, it occurred to me, well, maybe one thing we could do is go ahead and send those hosts of heaven out to clear the way. When I hear about people who are thinking smarter rather than harder, when I hear about people, Kat Kira saying, well, I go and do these things, I send the host to clear the way, so we're not delayed, so we're not attacked, so I don't get sick. Yeah, I know. That's just what I was thinking. Never occurred to me it might be important to do that just so I could get out of bed in the morning. Or just so I could face the blank page of my writing without feeling this kind of inevitable, it won't matter feeling. Do you guys feel that? Do you ever feel that where you go to do something and it's like the air is sucked out of you from the inside? Like, it's not going to matter. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to lose the weight. I'm not going to, right? What's the point? I'm still me. That's that. There's no real reason. And it never occurred to me that we might want to partner with angels moving into that. It never occurred to me that if God is saying to me, in particular, Julie, you can go over there and do the crisis relationship. You can do the Martha thing. You can fix the world. You can tie yourself up in knots in a search and rescue project, which they'll always be there. Or you can do the art and the music and the communications and the painting and stuff. You can do that. It never occurred to me that if that's what God is saying, then that is the war of art, right? That is my weapon. So why maybe I should send the hosts of heavens out into that? What do you think about that? What do you think about, because by the way, that scripture that says, are the angels not all ministering servants sent on behalf of the saints? Well, I looked into that. It definitely says sent, like that's an action. And then the next Greek, when it says, are the angels not all ministering spirits sent on behalf of believers and to work on our behalf? But if you look at the word on behalf of in the Greek, it actually says by, and it's an action word. And most every other time it is translated in the New Testament, it's not translated as passive, like somebody does it for you. It's translated as you do it, like it's by. So that passage actually can read very accurately, are not the angels ministering servants sent by the saints, sent by the believers? Isn't that interesting? So if I've underestimated the value of the war of art, and I've underestimated the way that I've given into resistance by undervaluing this, especially in light of the many crises around me that I could become engulfed in, then perhaps I have undervalued the amount of warfare in its subtlety that keeps me from showing up. Have you thought about that? Vegan Dog, this is fear-free living. I teach the life skill of fear-free living. Fear-free living is not just for a few people. It's not just for people that have an untraumatized life or a happy little set of brain chemistry things working on their behalf. Fear-free living literally means that you live free of the control and the domination of fear, and you know how to do it as a life skill because you are taught how to live fear-free based on not your feelings, but on the truth, which sends us on a truth search for finding out, how do we know what's true? How do we know upon which things, people, ideas we can base our lives so that we have an accurate representation of reality? Because if we have an inaccurate representation of reality, we will believe things that create a fear state for our bodies. And it is unlike Buddhism, because Buddhism is based on an inner subjective reality. I'm talking about Creator's reality. I'm talking about what he said about you before you were even formed and you were placed in your mother's womb, and who he says you are as an absolute truth and reality, and what he did on your behalf to make sure you can reach that destiny. That's a very different thing than Eastern mystic detachment. It is absolute attachment to a personal God who knows you by name, and he gave his self for you. Okay? So what I'm saying to you is that I teach every day, and my battery's running low, so I'm not going to go long today. I teach every day, Monday through Friday at 1:15, on the life skill of fear-free living. You learned to be afraid. You can learn to be free. And it's not just how you feel or how your body's reacting or based on how the dice was rolled, what happened to you and for you. And some people get it easier than others. Some people just happen to be sanguine and happy and calm and peaceful. No, fear-free living must be learned and practiced. And the reality of it is that we live free. And I am not taking the vax, by the way, ever. No. And I've never been afraid for even a second about this whole thing. But that's another story. We'll go into it. My history is having serious, paralyzing stage fright and performance anxiety, which is why I incorporate the music into what I do. And it's been a sort of a flannel graph. It's been a story example to help teach people how I overcame the number one. I had two scariest things. One was intimacy, okay, and just absolute inner terror from very early, and that manifested in relationships and intimacy. And the second one was stage fright, paralyzing stage fright. And so I teach on that, and I teach how I overcame and how I continue to overcome. So just this week, I had an audition yesterday. That was kind of my story. But anyway, follow along, Vegan Dog and others, if you want the mentoring about how we do this and not just the inspiration of being told you can. And so that's kind of what I do. And I will be back, I'm sure, on Monday. Between now and then, what do I always say? Go do something that scares you. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do my gig on Sunday, and we'll chat, and we'll go for it. We'll hit the road running, and we'll continue pursuing the skill, the effort, and the payoff of learning to live fear-free. Does that sound good? All right, guys. You can also check me out at julielavender.com. Okay. It goes when you're on the stage. It doesn't necessarily go when you're on the stage, Vegan Dog. There are a lot of factors that can change. Some people do find that stage fright diminishes once there's precipitory anxiety, which is the anxiety you get until you do the thing. Then there's more complicated anxieties and fears that where you get there, and depending on what's happening, you can actually kind of unwind and unravel under the pressures. But anyway, that, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I know. And it does, precipitory anxiety does generally dissipate more for people once you finally get doing what you need to do instead of worrying about what you need to do. All right, that's it. I don't want to just die out of nowhere because my computer goes dead. In any event, I'm going to be back on Monday. So when is the Dream Farm concert? Well, my daughter's going to do a Dream Farm concert in May or early June. So we'll have another one there. And we'll talk about that. But you can, if you're interested, by the way, go to dreamfarmradio.org and you can see all the work that I've done with some of the best jazz musicians in the world that came to my farm to perform as part of my strategy for getting over the fear, right? It's amazing what God will allow you to do and bring to the world and what you are able to birth out of your own need to get free. It's an amazing thing. You go, I'm sick and tired of being a slave to this issue. I'm in, whatever it takes, I'm going to get free. And you want to know something? One of the secrets of freedom is that along the way, your decision to get free is going to mean that you have to lose yourself in giving away freedom to others. And it's this amazing economy of God's value and your value and what it takes to be set free from the obsessive selfishness of our fear. All right, that's all for today. I will be back on Monday, 1:15 here on Twitch, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and I'll update you about my gig on Sunday. All right, guys, see you later.